Says that it's 8:30, so therefore it's time to begin. And if you would bow with me and join me in prayer. Lord, thank you for this morning, and Lord, as I looked at flipping the calendar over and just reflected on time and how quickly it seems to pass, Lord, I just was reminded that to enjoy each day as you give it to us, Lord, and just be mindful of how precious time is. Lord, as I think about time and how we invested here at the county and as department heads, as commissioners and elected officials, Lord, I just pray we'll invest it wisely and always look towards you for purpose and meaning in what we do. Yes. Lord, as we take up the business this morning, I'm grateful for those who call Laclede County home and those who are residents here that support our county by way of their taxes, whether it's property taxes, personal taxes, or sales tax. Just help us to invest those wisely so that those resources are used to meet the needs of those that we're allowed to have the privilege to serve. Be with us as we continue this meeting. We just want to honor you and give you all the praise and glory in your Son's name. Amen. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will take up our meeting this morning. I do have an item that I don't think we need to amend the agenda, but NU Extension will be here to provide us with a quarterly update. So we'll get them worked in with the department head updates. So with that, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes for August 26th, if you had a chance to review those.
I'd go ahead and move a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second to approve the minutes as written. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Minutes approved. Next, we'll do department head updates. And James, I'll let you go first, please.
So for the month of July, we logged about 5,000, a little over 5,000 cattle entries, calls into the 911 center. I do not have my updated numbers for August as of yet, but the current trend line, since we're coming up to October, which will be our anniversary month from the consolidation, our general trend line shows that the call center here has doubled its total call volume with the consolidation. I'll be able to give you something more solid in October once we get the finalized numbers, but that's generally what we're looking at. We have 4 positions still open. We are not yet going into looking for hiring just yet. The trainees that we do have are getting ready to, most of them are through the bigger hurdles of their training program that we laid out for them. Once they're a little bit more on their own, where the trainers don't need to interact as much, we'll go back through and we'll start looking at trying to fill those other seats. This month, we implemented a new shift schedule. So we split the shifts to a first half of the week and a second half of the week, with the overlap day being on Wednesday. And then the supervisors are splitting with an overlap on Thursday. So that gives us the ability to put more people on the floor when we know we will have a higher call volume, and less people on the floor when we know that call volume drops based on our current statistics. So from 6 a.m. to roughly 8 p.m., we will have almost all 4 stations filled, where before we were at max able to fill with 3, sometimes running with 2. So that adjustment so far is working for the employees. They like the extra people on the dispatch floor at a console to deal with the higher call volumes when those spikes happen. So I said, let's run it for a month, see how it goes for us. We also see this as a way to reduce our call-ins, which is our #1 problem with overtime. The only technical issue we still are fighting through occurred last week, which was when Motorola did the software updates to our radios, something in the configuration from the computer that allows the radios to record to the other side recorders, that configuration did not take. So when that computer had a power surge and it rebooted, it lost its link, for a better way for me to explain it. Kimiko's been down here for a week trying to troubleshoot. It's now back into the Motorola software engineer hands. I'm waiting for another call back today from Kimiko. They're trying to get me a status on when we can expect those configurations to be able to come back, reload that computer, and get that radio set talking to the recorder. We still have our phone lines are connected to the recorder, no impact there. So our 911, admin lines, all of that is still recorded, but currently our radios are not. Pending any questions, that's all I got right now.
Any questions for James? No, seeing none, okay. So is there, on that, technical issue, they're back on site or will be back on site? They're conferring with Motorola?
That last one. So once Motorola software engineers identify why their update was not talking to that computer, allowing that computer to talk to the recorder, they will send them the new configuration software, and then they'll have to come on site to install it.
Now, would that be Motorola or Kimiko?
Kimiko's
Right.
Since they're the contractor, they're all the responsibility, but it's outside. They don't own the software configuration, that's Motorola, so they're having to work through big Motorola.
Okay. Work through the
But
mothership.
I called them daily.
Okay. All right. Seeing no other questions, James, we can invite you to stay, or we can let you go about your work.
No,
So
I'm good with
So
it.
whatever. Okay. Jerrod, I'm going to move you around a little bit this morning, since we're going to have you here for a work study session
Okay.
after this. So I'm going to move you to the very end, just before we do the work study. Okay. I think we'll be able to move through this pretty quick. Okay. So with that, then I will take up OEM update. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning. I don't have a lot. Basically, this month is just catch up and make sure we're prepped for, the floods, this fall floods, and the early snowstorm that the National Storm Prediction Center says we're gonna get for sure, which we hope not. And so therefore we are doing a visual on every siren, and if they need winterized, resealed, need the wasp run out of them, or whatever we need to do, we'll do. And this is September's the month to do that. I haven't drawn down the 4,000 and some change money yet on that siren situation at Bennett. The fund that we thought we could tap won't work through SEMA, but we are optimistic that we can get that covered. The county's already paid 4,000 something for that bill. So we're still working on that. That's a priority every week. We're still 2 part-time employees down, so we're scrambling to cover the office, keep it open. I don't think Goodwill is gonna fire up again until at least, my opinion, until at least November. Hopefully earlier, but at least November. but I do believe that it is gonna come back, and that'll be a good thing for us. The warehouse is, slowly getting organized in our area and drawn down, so hopefully, you know, before we get the rains, we'll have that straightened out, organized. We are back on the water program, so, you know, we will be getting pallets of water just as soon as, Goodwill or, Convoy of Hope gets their shipment. So we should have water to, take care of the county in the event that we have an emergency. We have had to draw down on who gets the water. We're less, you know, there's less water available, so, you know, it's kind of a touchy thing on who gets it, but the rules and regs say that if they are a government-based entity or non-for-profit, like a church, you know, we can provide them with water. We weren't able to help, Community Baptist, did we help this year? I can't remember, maybe a little bit, but not like normal.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we will have water, and hopefully, you know, we'll get that inventory built back up to 4 or 5 pallets. We're supposed to keep a couple pallets just for emergencies, and we don't have that at this time, so, but I will be able to give you some, you know. Other than that, all vehicles are running and fairly good shape, and I think we'll get through the year without any replacements there, or major repairs, hopefully. And I think that's all I have.
Any questions for Randy?
I believe so, not this time.
So, mine is the, EMPG grant. When do you think we're gonna hear something on that? I'd like to get to work on that MOU with the city, but I'm holding off until we get that information on the grant.
So 3 employees pretty well run that for SEMA and manage it for FEMA. And one of the 3 has been there forever, an expert at it. Amy is the only one that's still there. The other 2 are in training, and they have not got to the point where they're gonna shoot that stuff out. I do have a confirmation on what the amount is, and I thought you got a copy of that.
And Randy, maybe I looked at that wrong. I thought that was the, final for this year, but what you're telling me is that's what we'll get next year then?
Yes, that is the final for this year, you're absolutely correct.
Okay,
But that also shows you what the drawdown amount is, and we were drawn down about $1,500 because we didn't use it last year. So that is the confirmed amount for this year, it's 42 something.
it's 40 something, it's
40.
40,000.
Was originally 42.
Something, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that will be the amount.
Well, that's what they told me last week, but there will be a letter coming,
Okay,
you know, maybe this week, hopefully,
okay,
that will confirm that that's what we're gonna get. But unofficially, that's what they've said.
okay.
That letter dictates it.
Okay. And I think you mentioned that, but I think I was expecting to see the actual grant amount.
It should have already been here. It should have
Okay.
already been here. Traditionally, it is.
Okay.
But because of the new employee issue, they just haven't got them out yet. But ours will come first, will be first tier.
And there's no hold up that you're aware of from the
No.
Washington
No.
DC
No.
with anything coming
You
in?
know, the money is already in the state of Missouri,
Okay,
and the release is already in the state of Missouri, so it will happen.
okay.
Yes.
All right, I think that's the only question I had.
Okay.
So, again, we'll invite you to
I'll
stay.
stay a little
but-
while.
Okay, so with that, then we'll go to, good morning, Mike, we'll go to maintenance.
Good morning. Well, we finished up a lot of things. We had a sump pump go out down in the basement. We've got it up and running. We installed a new one. Master Gardeners has given me, some, pictures that they kinda worked up about how our tree would look, and a little bit, and about what it would cost us to do this. I got little packets if anybody wants them.
Yeah, let's,
Just gives us a rundown on the cost. Let's start, and I can email the pictures. I would have printed them, but they do not, and then, I didn't have a color printer with ink in it, so I didn't print them out. But I can email you pictures that just give you an idea of what it will look like. From there, so our cost this year is, I think, just, around $1,000, and then in the springtime, we'll plant the red, white, and blue, up in front of the tree up by the road, and we'll add that color to it for the, 250th, celebration, whatever, we're gonna do that. Our water tower out there, we have got a pump that's been going out. That pump is 18 years old from the information on it. So, we're not finding a rebuild kit on it. And we also have a chemical sensor out on that. That just arrived, Friday, so they should be back to put that back in. And, that will save us on a little bit of water, cause this, we've got a used one put in there right now to keep it from just dumping water constantly. That's, when we noticed the problem with it, was just constantly dumping water. To update that system, to bring it all up to date, is about $9,500 to $10,000. To put new pumps, new sensors, bring that up to today's standards. I think that's been in there since the, tower was put together, you know. But we got it running, we got it back running, so. The ladies over at the sheriff's department, they finished painting the hallway. We're going to, add a little brighter lights in there to brighten that up a little bit. And, possibly put in one or two can lights there, just to kind of shine that up a little bit. Been working with a few leaks in the, jail, particularly from, F-Pup. And I really think they were just, every time we've been up there, the showers are running and nobody's in there. I think they're just hitting it constantly, and you can't see from the cameras, you know, from the showers. So I turned one of the showers off so it would dry, and I can seal it today. And, so it's been drying up all weekend. Last week we had a glitch in the power, caused a low voltage alarm that shut down the well pumps, which then allowed air to get into our system because the wells do leak. That took us a few minutes to figure out. We figured out we had to bleed the system again, and it did what it's supposed to do, shut down the compressors and all that. So we got it bled and got everything back up and running, and it's running like it's supposed to again now. So, but yeah, we did have a day or two. It wasn't that it was hot in here; it was just a little chilly in here. So, so that kind of changed things up a little bit. But yeah, but that's what our month looked like last month, and we're just keep plugging along. So.
Any questions for Mike?
Don't believe so.
And
Mike,
Joe, let me get Joe, if you can't get that metal bent, I can.
Oh, they're willing to do it. He was trying to get around, last week there to get up here and get it picked up. You said it was sitting over at the extension.
Yeah.
Or the old MU.
Yeah.
In that part, remodel part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I like to get that installed before the.
Oh, yeah,
rain-
before we start getting into the
before we
rainy
get those
season
rainy
again.
seasons again.
Hopefully that happens this afternoon, so we probably won't get installed, no.
Yeah.
We wish for the rain,
Well,
but
we
yeah.
need the rain, we need the rain.
We need it bad,
I
so,
just don't need it sideways, so, yeah.
yeah, you bet, but no, so no, he's, yeah, we're just trying to work out schedules and get it, and so we'll, so, yeah.
Mike, who's the vendor on that tower? Who would, which one of your vendors would do that work?
I'm so bad with names.
Is it DeLong?
Oh, no,
No, Plum
no,
Plum.
no, this is the chemical guys that supply the chemical. Aqua Chem, or whatever they call it.
Kim Aqua or
Yeah.
Aqua something, okay.
Yeah, I am so bad with names, I have to look at them before I. But yeah, they are the guys that come out, they keep the, nitrate in the water, to keep the pipes from corroding. And we gotta keep that chemical, in that water nice and clean and clear, almost like a swimming pool. You add conditioner to the water and you add some little bit of chlorine in the water. You gotta keep that perfectly going. So the old system they got in there, it will pump a little bit of chemical in, pump a little of the other chemical in, then if it reads it too high, then it just bleeds the water out and fills it with fresh water. So that sensor was constantly telling it that it was, the chlorine was high, so it just dumped the water. It would dump water for a couple hours. I was just physically turning it on and off, for the last 2 weeks, while we were trying to find a new sensor, wait for the new one. I'd, turn it off, add a little chemical by, forcing it in, because the pump's bad, and then we bleed a little bit of water out, replace it with fresh water, and I just kept it nice and clear and not slimy feeling. You can look in the water in the tower, it's starting to get cloudy, or if you touch it, you can just tell that it's got too much of something in it, so that's what we done for the last 2 weeks. He showed up, I believe it was Thursday or Friday, put that new sensor in, and then Friday, we got the new one in, so. And he'll have to come and put that in because it needs to be calibrated to the, system, so.
So is this something you have, lined out for
Next
between, for next year? Okay, that was gonna be my question. Is this something that's gonna function until next year? You're gonna put it
Yes,
in next year's
I'm gonna put it
budget?
in
then?
next
Okay.
year's budget,
Okay.
and hopefully, and we'll have that hopefully all done and updated before we start the tower back up.
Okay,
So we've got another month or so, month and a half, 2 months, and then we shut the tower down and drain it and get it cleaned out. And then, about March, we fire it back up again, so.
okay. So, do we have any questions for Mike then? No? Okay, so Mike, I'm gonna jump down to the, item number 4, the Fabick-Cat generator warranty. That's something that I put on the agenda for us to, consider for approval today. So if you don't care, let's go ahead and bring you in on that conversation so that we fully understand what we're buying here. I think everybody knows, but
Yes, this is
Just in
just an
case.
upgrade from the basically the standard warranty up to a platinum warranty. This is just, all we're doing is changing our warranty that we have and upgrading it to the next level, which will cover any, overtime up to a certain much, travel, and if they have to travel to do anything to that generator, parts. It was a one-time $500 increase. And it will just jump our warranty from one to the next stage. It's the same warranty, So basically, you'll get 4 years out of the 5 year, of the 5 years with this new one. Just one call on that will pay for that, instantly. Now, we're under warranty, we've had them come back one time for a, program issue, when the power went out, when the swirl, yeah. The generator kicked on, but it wasn't producing power. So, we had them come back and they had to reconfigure something in the program, they missed the box that they were supposed to check. As for the generators, they're pretty well. If the block heater would go out on this one, you know, that's a $3,000 bill, just for a block heater. So, I think we're money well spent for 4 years for $500.
What coverage are we currently at right now? As far as what they call their levels and stuff? With silver, with gold, with the platinum?
We are at, we will go to the platinum. We are at the gold, I think. We will go
Okay.
one step up.
Okay. And the reason why I'm asking that is because this form here that it's showing here, you got it marked for the platinum plus. There's always marked for here. So that's where I'm having a little bit of confusion because of what we talked about last week there whenever they came in. That's what my understanding was. We was in the gold and we was thinking about moving to the platinum, but he got platinum plus put here.
Okay.
So that's what I'd like for clarification on that to see. I mean, there's not much difference between the platinum and the platinum plus from what I've read through 17, 18 pages worth of stuff that I can see unless I've missed something. So, but I still like to know where we're at with that. And then also, I read some stuff here that talks about liters and this and that on your generators and what. Do we know what liter generator and stuff that we're actually putting this warranty on?
Not at the top of my head, I don't know the exact size of it.
I would like to know that as well, because other than that, I mean, there's a lot of variables there that this difference in cost from all the way from $1,000 to $20,000 as far as coverages go. So I would like to know what we're looking at there.
What he had all the information on all our generators. They have got it all down to each individual generator. And he priced that according to the generator that it is. So that part we do know is correct.
Right. Well, I would like to know that myself as well. I think that'd be good information to have. You know, that way we know where our coverages fall. I mean, it's full from 4 liters all the way up to a 34 liter, which is huge. But yeah, so I'd like to have a little bit more.
So Mike, if you don't care, would you give him a call? I've got that yet to be taken up for an action item. And if you can inquire of him and get Joe's information and come back and let us know.
Yep.
So that we can maybe go ahead and get this done today.
Yep.
So Joe, you wanna know
I want to confirm that it is gonna be for platinum.
Platinum
Plus, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying, platinum or platinum plus, because we talked about platinum, but this is marked platinum plus. And then also, yeah, I'd like to know what size or generators and stuff is that we're actually covering on this. And yeah, and pretty much that's about, like I said, that's about it.
Yep, we can go get that for you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, if you don't care to do that, Mike, and if you can find out, let us know before we adjourn, that would be good.
All right.
Thank you. Next, I have the staff from MU here. Good morning, and we'll go ahead and work you in. And so who is going to lead or begin the discussion?
I guess that's me, everybody looks at me.
All eyes that way, Miss Della. Go ahead.
So I'll just let you know a little bit about what I've been doing. I know Allison is coming, so we'll go through our kind of anyway, we'll go through there. So, one of the things that I want to highlight, oh, thanks. You might want these. You're welcome. That might help you a little bit. So, under that human development section, the one thing I want to highlight is a new partnership that I have with Treatment Court. So, man, that was probably in late June. I contacted Judge Winfrey, and I went in and talked to the Treatment Court team, and so I was able to provide them, it's called Making Money Counts. So it is a basic budgeting type of class. So we did 3 sessions. They got a total of 6 hours of instruction. So it's basic budgeting. We went over grocery shopping, how to plan for groceries. We went over just how to plan a meal. We talked about credit. We talked about just basic money handling. So I had 7 individuals go through that program, and we are just kind of waiting for more individuals to be at a certain point in that treatment court process to do another round of the Making Money Counts. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then I had the Camden County Treatment Court actually get a hold of me last week to talk about programming for them as well. So I'm really excited about that, bringing in those just basic life skills, because as we know, just across the board, individuals aren't getting those, especially adults and adults that are dealing with, that are in recovery and dealing with those challenges as well. So along with all my other stuff, I just kind of wanted to highlight this because I think it's a really important and vital part of just that community education. So, any questions?
Any questions? Okay, Della, I have one.
Sure.
The funding mechanism for this, is this part of what you normally provide as part of your scope of work that you do for MU? So is this part of that, or was this in addition that you had extra funding available, or do you need extra funding? What is that?
So right now, what I charge, so I do charge for this. It is stuff that I do for MU, but with the way that, we'll let Allison kind of talk about the budgeting side of things. But anyway, I charge $100 a session to treatment court, and that just covers, it doesn't matter how many people come, that covers my material. So it doesn't cover my pay at all, but it covers any materials that we need for that class. I don't have to pay for any of that. So it's $100 per session is what I get for that. And I don't know, it's coming from treatment court funds. I have to talk to, you'd have to ask Judge Winfrey exactly how that is panning out, but that's kind of the agreed upon flat fee that we have. Like I said, it just covers the supplies that I need to do the classes, so. Anything else? All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Leslie, good morning.
Good morning. So 4-H, we're kind of rounding out our year. Our year runs from October 1 to September 30th. And so we're kind of on the downhill swing and getting everything finished up and getting ready to start our new 4-H year. My report for this month had kind of our numbers of kids that participated in the Missouri State Fair. So that was kind of that was my month of August, was the State Fair and the Ozark Empire Fair. We had several kids show livestock at the Ozark Empire Fair. We had some of our indoor projects you guys may have seen at the fair here in Laclede County. If they received a blue ribbon here, then they got to travel to Springfield, and then if they blue ribbon in Springfield, then they traveled to the Missouri State Fair. And so that shows our number of kids that took projects to the state fair, both livestock and those indoor projects. And then I had 2 girls who showed horses at the state 4-H and FFA horse show, which is kind of a big deal. We typically haven't had a lot of kids do that in the past, but we had 1 last year, we had 2 this year, so hopefully that number continues to grow, because we do have a pretty big horse program here. I'm very proud of those kids. You guys can see in here our 4-H council meetings, which is our kind of county-wide meetings where we make the decisions for the county. That's usually the first Monday of every month. They didn't meet in July, and then this month we'll meet next Monday on the 8th, and you guys are welcome to attend that. It's at 6:30 at the office. We'd love to see you guys there. I know those kids run that meeting, and they would love to see you guys there too. And our recognition night, which is kind of our end of the year awards banquet, is going to be out at Wall Street at the Exchange on October 11th. And so we would love to see you guys there as well. So I brought an invitation to that. I don't know which one you guys wants to handle
Yeah,
that.
that's fine. Thank you.
So we would love to see you guys at that. So those kids are going to receive their project pins that night, and they're going to be able to share a little bit about what they've done throughout the year.
Questions?
Yes, questions?
Absolutely, I always have questions, but I always defer. Joe, do you have any questions?
No, not at this time, everything seems to be.
Eric, okay, so, remind me, of 4-H funding, how does 4-H funding work?
Anything that happens in this county, we, the 4-H youth and volunteers, have raised that money. We don't get our funding for the program from the university. The only money that comes through the university is my salary. And so any money that they need for anything that we do through the year, we have to fundraise for.
Okay, so, your new year will begin when?
October 1.
Okay, and if there were any new funds available, could you work up how you might use those?
Absolutely, yes. And if there are things that you guys would like to see, let me know and we can definitely work on that. It is volunteer run, and so some of the issues sometimes I run into is finding the right person. Some people know a whole lot about something, but they're not the best teacher, or they don't work well with youth, and so sometimes that's my catch. So if you guys know someone who would like to lead a project, could be anything, send them my way, because we're always looking for new opportunities.
So let's say if there were $2,000 available, could you work up a budget as to how you might use that in a 4-H program and send that to me so I can present that?
Yes, absolutely, I will. And I will also, so we, similar to the MU Extension Council, we have a 4-H council. And so I would like to speak to them too and see kind of what those clubs, what are kids looking for and what do they want to see as far as how we would spend that, because you know, we want it to be something those kids are going to dive into rather than maybe it's something I'm interested in, but then maybe the kids aren't. So I'd like to see what direction they'd like to take to. And if there's something you guys would like to see, just let me know. We'll definitely work on that.
And if it wouldn't be too much to ask, how soon could you get that to me?
So,
A couple weeks?
yes, we can do that in a couple of weeks. My council meets next Monday, the 8th, and then if we could have maybe a week or a week and a half after that, we can do that for sure.
That would be great.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Ashley, are you next?
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. I hope you guys are having a great day. It's been lovely outside. So a couple updates on my end. As you guys know, the university lost their $11 million grant for the F&EP program. And unfortunately that caused close to 100 layoffs, I believe it was. And also included in that, unfortunately, was Teresa Bell. So they did offer me a position with the EF&EP program. So I would be still doing kind of the same work that I've been doing, but it'd be more focused on adults. And I'll still be going into the schools, just not as much. I'll also be covering 2 other counties. I haven't had any information on to what counties, what specific information my job will entail. They're gonna be having a Zoom meeting tomorrow for next steps, and then I'll also be attending a reorientation later this month in Columbia. Recently I finished up a Kids in the Kitchen class over at our office, which has been lovely. The office space is just wonderful for that kind of stuff. I plan on offering some adult classes in the upcoming months as well. OTC recently reached out to me. They will be having a welcome back fall picnic, so I will be attending that, offering SNAP assistance to the students there, handing out programs that's going to be happening over at Extension with 4-H and our Human Development Resource Program. I think that's pretty much all I have up to date for me personally. Once I go through my orientation and my next steps meeting, I'll be able to hopefully give you guys a little bit more information on what the future holds for this position.
Any questions for Ashley? So Ashley, I always have a question or a comment, but did you have something else you needed to?
I just wanted to clarify that EFNEP is the Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program.
Okay, thank you. Sometimes acronyms.
They have a lot of them in
I
Extension.
can't even say it, much less know what it was.
I'm still learning.
So let me, and this is just a comment. So you're transitioning from a youth nutrition program to an adult nutrition program.
Yes,
In my words, the way I understand it, right?
yes, there'll still be a little
It
bit.
just seems to me like that's backwards, not that that's your decision, obviously. But if you get off a good start, it just looks to me like that would flow, and now we're going to here, but maybe is there a program that's being, that's replacing this, or because you would go to schools, right?
Yes.
Okay, so are the schools stepping up and taking any of this on, or what changes do you see happening there, if any?
I really don't think that they'll be able to find another funding source to replace that, because that is a huge funding source that they lost. But so, Teresa Bell's been doing this for 22 years. And my take on it is that she helped generations of families go, starting with the youth, so they can be adults, pass that education on to their children. So I completely agree that it's kind of doing a complete 360 on where we need to be. But I'm hoping that also with this adult education, they offer us programs to where we do have youth in there with the parents, and it's like a family class that we can do. So I'm hoping that continues. There will still be a little bit of youth, but it's completely broke down to maybe 1 or 2 classes per year for each county that I'll be covering. So I'm hoping maybe eventually they'll be able to find another funding source to bring more youth into our program.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see, Miss Allison, Crystal said I'm not speaking.
So to speak on
Well,
that.
come on up here, don't stand there in the back.
Well, I just drove all the way over here, it's highly stressful, so, anxiety. So to speak on what Ashley said, yes, we lost $11 million in the state of Missouri. That's because it's a federally funded program, so it got cut across the United States. If they were to replace that, it's gonna be the states that replace it, or like you say, county health departments, the schools themselves. This program was cut in July, like the very beginning of July. I think we found out on the 4th of July.
Yeah,
So
it passed. It was part of the big beautiful bill.
yeah, so there was not a lot of time to get that in effect before the school year at least. They did lose a lot of positions. They were able to retain 35 of these EFNEP positions. And so I think that speaks very highly of Ashley, because they only retained 35 across the state. So they went off geographic area, they went off of performance reviews, they went off of programming that they had done with adults, and unofficially, they did look at, our council sent a letter of support for Teresa and Ashley, and so they can't say that did anything, but they did tell me that they read that, they appreciated it. That meant that there was a lot of support here, and so, I think that boded well for Laclede County. And I think it speaks very highly of Ashley that she was able to retain that position, so we're really happy that we got to keep one. Like she said, it's gonna be new, it's gonna be different, we don't know what it's gonna look like. As soon as she gets more information on that, she can come let you know. Another thing because of that cut is we lost 8 specialists across the state, and so, or across the region, no, state.
The
State.
state, yes.
Our region
8
lost
states.
2.
Yeah.
So what that means as far as Della's position goes, we were able to retain human development in this area. We are likely not going to get any nutrition specialists for this area. I don't know that officially yet. When are they supposed to come out with that?
So we're supposed
Realigning.
to, so there's supposed to be a meeting sometime this month. We don't have a definite date or anything like that. So hopefully by the mid, or end of this month, we'll know a little bit more about, because they're gonna have to restructure. You can't lose $11.5 million and not restructure. It's going to change the look of extension quite a bit, and we are all of us are kind of in the air right now. We really don't know what's gonna happen, what direction they're going in, and so until we get some answers, hopefully, like I said, I hope it's this month, so we kind of know and we're able to kind of tell you how they're going to move forward, because the loss of 8 doesn't sound like a lot across the state, but when we only have a handful per region, it's quite a bit. So for example, I'm human development. The closest human development in this region to me is 2.5 hours from me, 3 hours. The closest nutrition education now is 2 hours from us. So it just kind of puts like I said, we're just kind of all up in the air. So hopefully, as soon as we know some information and we get that information, I'll be sure to come and share it with you, because like I said, we're all kind of up in the air as to where we stand and what our jobs are gonna look like, so.
As we know it right now, though, all of Ashley's position is covered.
Yeah.
And all the materials that should be passed, so. What questions do you have?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I have questions. Erik, anything?
No.
Joe?
No, sir.
I think they get tired of me asking questions, but that's why you
That's
come
how you
over here.
learn.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely true. So what I'm hearing is that $11.5 million was eliminated from MU extension specifically for this program.
For the SNAP education grant,
Okay.
because that was part of SNAP, and across the United States, other states maybe divided that money up between different agencies, but in Missouri, MU Extension was the sole deliverer of SNAP education, so they got all of that funding. That's why it was such a huge hit.
Okay, so, so you can take this all the way back up to the chairman,
Okay,
okay? So what's the total budget for MU extension in the state of Missouri?
that's true.
Don't look at me.
I know.
It's changed. I know what it used to be, but now
I know they were rewriting it.
Yeah,
They were-
I don't
But we hadn't
know.
heard anything since they
So
submitted
obviously
it.
the nature of the question is 11.5 million out of what, right?
Right,
Okay, and then was part and so this decision came down from the federal level and impacted us here in the state, right?
mhm,
Okay, you know, I'm just thinking, you know, is it, you know, poverty, is it food deserts, you know, and all those are just statements, you know, that mean nothing as to how this was selected, and then the different areas that you may be serving, like if there's 35 or 33, how many ever you said that, you know, you're gonna have to cover multiple counties, and how that was determined then. I guess if there's 35 of you and each of you do 3 counties, you're gonna cover about all the counties. But I just wonder if strategically, if there's some counties that have a greater need than other counties based upon some data that can be substantiated. But I guess, Allison, I'd like to know, just, what the total NU budget for extension, and then I get a little, anxiety here, hearing that maybe there's other impacts coming.
There will be, eventually, I do feel like.
And that's
because-
really concerning them, because as we said here, and we provide funding locally, then what does that look like? And so, just as you're waiting for answers, I guess when you have some clarity, I'm sure county commissions across the state would wanna know that too, because, we're proud of our local MU extension. We wanna continue to invest in it. Part of that would be MU needs to invest in it. And I'm sure that tuition rates got raised, I'm sure that salaries were increased, and buildings maybe are being built, but you're out here delivering these services to our neighbors here in Laclede County, and that's concerning, that this program, do they not think it has value? I mean, so if the leadership at the top doesn't believe it has value, then what does that mean for us locally as a county? We believe it has value, but I'm not sure a real good message is being sent. So that's not a question, Allison, that's just a statement, but
I wouldn't argue with you on
so whenever there's clarity, of course, we'd like to.
That's the key word. I don't know if we ever really get clarity, but once we have a little, we can
Share it
definitely
with
let
us.
you know.
Information is the key.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I don't have any other questions or interrogations, so I'll rest my case. Unless Crystal wants to speak. All right, thank you, ladies. You're welcome to stay if you want, but I'm sure you have lots to do. Thank you for your update.
Just one more thing, Teresa did leave a note on the back for you guys as a thank you for all you guys have done in supporting her over the years, so she did wanna make sure you guys seen that.
Yeah, thank you.
So Jerrod, I'm still holding off on you. You're gonna be last, but before.
You bet.
CD
Oh, yeah.
notifications, none. Okay, next I have certificate of deposit review, and the reason why I put this on the agenda, Kristy came to me last week and said that we would have a penalty if we withdrew this from an early termination penalty, so I wanted to put it back on the agenda and see if that's been clarified.
I haven't spoken to anybody.
Okay, so as far as you
called
know.
Steve Hyde, so I have no idea what was said between you and Steve, but no, as far as I knew, we were going with commerce and that we were, it was a done deal.
Okay, so you don't have any information on the penalty?
I mean, what I gave you where it was $2,000.
Okay, so can you check on that for us then, let us know?
What do you want me to check? Cause I mean, they already, last time when I called, Jennifer told me it was a $4,000 penalty, but we had earned something in interest, so we would only be charged like $2,000, whatever's on that piece of paper, cause I gave you my numbers, but I don't know what else there would be to get, cause I already got that information for you.
Okay, so I guess then the question would be, when we move this, that will incur a penalty then?
I thought, okay, so when we spoke last week, we weren't gonna have any penalties or something when we had that?
That is what she said, I will talk to Travis and I will see what will happen. She didn't tell me anything when I called and got those interest rates. And then when I called her and told her that we were moving them, then she told me we would have a penalty. She did not tell me that the week before when I had called and asked. And then when I called to move the money, that's when she said we would have a penalty.
Well, I think it would be important to know, Kristy, if we're going to incur a early withdrawal penalty. I think due to the circumstances that we're aware of with us putting the bid out, changing banks, or whatever it was, maybe we did or didn't receive any notification. but I would like to know whether we're gonna have a penalty or not, so can you find that out and let us
Well,
know?
we are, I mean, that's what she told
We
me when
are
I
gonna
called
have
her,
a
yeah,
penalty.
that's what she told me
Okay,
when I called, and then you took the information from me and you called Steve Pike, so I figured whatever you heard from Steve Pike would be the final, because.
my
that-
conversation with Steve was that I would put it back on the agenda for discussion today.
I didn't know I was, I mean, cause she had already given me the information, so I didn't know what else. I was
Okay, so I
supposed to
guess
do.
the question is then, do we just pay the penalty and go on, if that's the case?
I think there needs to be some more phone calls made.
Okay. So can you call then and find out from Jennifer if there is a penalty or not?
I mean,
and
there
let
is,
us
but
know.
she told me, so I don't know how it would change.
Well, ask her again, I guess, and just say the commission would like to know, will there be a penalty if we withdraw that at this time?
I mean, she told me there would be, so I mean, I don't
Right,
know how it
and
would change
do we
from
have the exact
last
dollar
week to
amount?
this. Randy has the numbers,
So
he
the
took my
note
piece of
that,
paper.
that Kristy gave me was that, we would pay a penalty of, and I may have these reversed, Kristy, so you help me out here. It was either $2,478 and a nickel, or it was $2,136.69. I think that's the interest.
The action, we had earned $2,478.05.
And that's the penalty.
The penalty was $4,614.74. So if you take those apart, we're only getting charged $2,136.69. So we would be moving a total of $783,351.15.
Which is gonna change daily until we get an answer, so, okay. Well, I would like you to, if Jennifer doesn't give you any different information, then ask to talk to Travis and see, and then let us know, so we can get this consummated.
And then
So
Travis-
that 2,478 interest earned.
No,
No?
yes, that's interest, yes.
So that's also potentially going away. So it's not just a 2136.69 penalty.
Penalty's $4,614.74.
Which that will change daily, cause it's constantly earning interest, so, I mean,
And was that 2478 interest earned from when to when?
I believe from when it renewed on the 9th of July, I guess, is what it would be, because they deposited money back in there on July 9th.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was that plus a little bit extra, she did not clarify.
And they just renewed this on their own without any contact to any of us, is that?
Yes. And we were in the middle of switching banks, and I thought it was, I missed the date, so.
Okay, Kristy, maybe if you can get us an answer before, we're gonna be in here for a little while in a work study after we get done here with a couple of things, so if you find out something, let us know. Mike, did you find out anything?
Yeah, 4.4, 269, inline turbo diesel. It is a platinum plus.
So we're on the smaller of those liters from what they,
Yeah,
And it didn't say it was a platinum plus.
yes, it is a platinum.
which is what it was stamped on the application here. So, it is what was put there, so. Okay, 4 liters or less or greater than 4 liters. So that would be greater than a 4 liter. So that gained us a little bit extra coverage there.
It was
commencements and stuff like that. Gives a difference in the hours and stuff, you know what I mean? Said with that being all I'm saying, had no effect on this part of it, the travel mileage, but it did help on all the rest of that. Since it did go to plus, which stays straight down, it makes a difference. So that's why I want that clarification on that part of it. So. Okay. Well, that's that.
You need anything else?
Joe, did you get your questions answered satisfactorily?
Yes, sir, I do believe so.
Okay, are we ready to take that up then for action?
Yeah, I believe so.
And I guess Mike, thank you for bringing that in and clarifying it.
Thank you.
So that would be the, in order of business, that would be the next item, the Fabick-Cat generator warranty. And, so we have the agreement here in front of us, and I would entertain a motion to approve that, if that is the consensus. If I have a motion, a second.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the upgrade for, I believe it was the $500 to update our, from our gold to a platinum plus coverage.
I'll second.
Got a motion second to approve the extended service coverage for the generator in 911. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Initial at the top of that, and we'll get that executed.
May I be excused for a moment?
You sure,
Phone call.
you sure may. You sure
Yes, I
may.
will.
Just let you do that first, and then we'll go from there. Thanks.
You want the coverage included in that?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give you that entire packet that house that. Okay, next will be in general county business.
One thing I had, I already gave to Jerrod there, and then I just gotten a text here from another gentleman stating something about, somebody building a fence close to the road, too close to the road, and it's on the corner of Normandy and Dunklin. So, I just got a text up there, so it'll be something else we'll probably have to go look at to
Yes, so.
see where right away.
As I was coming in to work this morning, I noticed that, and I've talked to Jerrod about it. I
Okay.
looked up the right of way on Normandy's 40 feet. And so Jerrod will have that information when he goes out to look. What it looks like is there's an existing fence line, and they've cleared the roadside out, and it looks like they're putting the fence in on the roadside and it looks like it's encroaching upon our right of way. Jerrod's gonna go look at it, and they're probably not had a chance to pick them up yet, I don't know, but there's a lot of limbs thrown in the ditches as well, where they threw the clearing into the ditch. If in fact it's in the right of way, it's really impacting our back slope a little bit. And we know Normandy is one of the highest traveled roads in the county, and those right-of-ways out there are important to maintain those. We probably let one slip by us. If that's the case, we probably let one slip by us a couple years ago, because it looks like some of the fences are moving closer to the road out there, so.
How far along are they with the fence?
Well, so I was at home all weekend. I did not leave my property, but I was told that they had floodlights over there. It sounded like somebody was pounding posts over the weekend. So coming by this morning, they have all their corners set, and they are maybe in the right of way. Erik, maybe they're not in the right of way. But it looks close anyway. It's moved probably, I don't know, a foot and a half, maybe 2 foot closer to the road from the existing fence line. So,
Well, I mean, if we're going to do something, or I feel a little bit of a sense of urgency before they get more done.
that's absolutely, that's why I notified Jerrod first thing this morning, and I came in and I verified the right of way there. So, diligence is required of all people.
Correct.
So we'll do our diligence, but that does not excuse others from not doing their research, and maybe they're right. I don't know, but we're gonna find out here in a couple hours. And maybe we need to dispatch Jerrod out there right now and let him run out there and look, and then come back before we go into, we've got a little bit of business to take care of, so we could get him out there and then.
I think.
You think that'd be best?
I think that'd be a good idea, since you've already seen and heard what's going on there, and I'm getting text from that other call, maybe because of that as well, I don't know, also had a call come in, I live in that same area. So,
Feedback.
thank you, Jerrod.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still in general county business.
I think that's all that I really got, other than like I said, what I've already gave Jerrod and stuff, so.
Okay, Erik, do you have anything? No, okay. So, I did receive the, email, for the, one of the 2 additional, opioid settlements that, we had, talked about earlier. So I did submit that, last week. So there's 2 additional settlements that we may be a part of now. What that looks like, I really don't know, except we are part of those settlements, and anything in the opioid world looks like it could change year to year. But with that, then we did receive this week, we did receive $9,098.81 in opioid funds, and I'll give Linda the list. We received year 5 from the distributor, $4,367.34. We did receive from TIVA year 3 settlement, $1,161.30. We did receive year 3 from CVS, $2,275.31, might be 51, depending on my writing. And from Allergen, we did receive year 3, $1,284.86. Just as a reminder, some of these, are all of them are multi-year, some of them were just one and done. So year 3 might be relevant. Linda has a list, I believe, that, and I will give that to you, but we did receive that this past week. So that money's probably in the bank account. The other thing I have for general county business is, these have to do with, funeral home and mortuary reimbursements. And so I have one invoice here that, there's a charge for, a transport, to, forensics. It's for $50. And I wanna get these off of my desk, and I do have a suggestion on 1 or 2 of them. That's for $50, and that was a transport, from Lebanon to, looks like Springfield. I do believe we have money in the budget for that. It's $50.
Ozark, what it says.
Funeral home transport. I assume we all probably already have, I don't know. And this could be part of a bigger discussion here too, by the way. And then I have 2 invoices, actually I have 3, but 2 of them are connected. These are invoices for cremation service provided for the county. And there was a little bit of a delay in these because there was some information that there might have been a life insurance policy. I was working through the public administrator's office, so I sat on these until we had a definitive word there. Turns out there's no monies available. However, there is a path if these are, if they qualify through, Community Foundation of the Ozarks, I believe. If there's no surviving relatives, and if they determine that there was not any resources and no surviving relatives, then there is a program where these can be.
I have a moment.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So there's a program that helps
Yeah.
subsidize some of it.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, Linda Ashley did some research, and it's my understanding on their website that the coroner can submit this for consideration, possible reimbursement. So on, I thought there was 2 of them here. There is 2 of them here.
Okay.
That we should, instruct the coroner to submit this paperwork. These invoices go back early in the year, but again, there was information that, was possible that there might be covered.
Right.
So I would like
There's some
to-
other policy that
yeah.
somebody's holding, but.
Yeah.
Right,
Deemed truly indigent, that's the idea.
what was that?
Deemed truly indigent.
Right, okay.
And the form is relatively straightforward, and that would need to be submitted.
And we talked about that earlier on
Okay.
here as well, yeah.
Okay, so I'd like to kick those back to the coroner
Mhm.
and ask for those to be,
Yeah, that'd be a good deal if he would go ahead and just fill out that form. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. I think that would be a good thing. I mean, that would be part of what his
and I'm
office should be doing.
assuming, I agree, and I'm assuming that hasn't been done. And there's a process, and they will we're part of that 26 county area, and, it's available, so I agree, Joe, we should pursue it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with that. But I thought that was sounding a little bit familiar, and when you said that form, and that clicked, because I think you had gotten me a copy of that form before also, like I had a file in there. But yeah, cause I know also, with another deal that I'm involved with as well, that, we donate some money and stuff to ones for like veterans that don't have any living heirs or relatives or anybody around that helps with their burial or stuff. I mean, cause the government takes care of the actual burial, but they don't help out with any type of the funeral part of it. And everything, for the best of my understanding, so yeah, there's other things out there, like you said, it does help out, and it never hurts to see if they qualify. So, I'll agree with that. We'll update Erik on that, but I think that's already two to no matter how he goes on this one since he stepped out of it. But yeah, we don't want to exclude him on that.
This was October.
Did I write down the 11th, is that what it said?
Yes, October 11th at 5 p.m. Get your key out.
I did the first time.
Okay, so this note is in reference to the certificate of deposit information that we now know is, no penalties. If we, now we have, looks like they would offer, the current financial institution would offer 4.25% for a 7-month CD. Now, if there's any consideration that needs to be done here, keep in mind that we did take a vote to approve the CD based upon the information we had. We now have new information we didn't have at the time, but if we want to consider any new information, then I would have to have a motion to rescind the previous vote. No contracts have been signed. I'm not advocating for that, but that is a possibility. The good news is there's no penalty. So if there's any desire to change, I need a motion to rescind. If not, then we move on down the road and we incur no penalty.
Okay, so there would be no penalties if we did go ahead and move, is what you're getting with your deal there, with your note there, and everything. And with that, if we stay, is what we're saying here, and it goes back to the July date of renewal, and continues on, but it continues on at a 4.25. And we
approved it for,
well, I know that for commerce, but through this institute, though, it wasn't that high from what information we had, correct?
That is correct.
So
the integrity of our information wasn't, we didn't have all the information.
right.
To
So
make-
with that
to
being
make
said, then
the most informed decision at that time.
with the information we had at hand,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
So with that being said, if we do a rescission of that, then do we go back to the other institutes as well, since that changed from what we had as well as far as a interest amount? How's that?
You know, Joe, any of that I think could be up for discussion and decision. With this information, again, I'm not going to advocate for a change, but I would entertain that motion to rescind if it was there.
Can I ask for clarification?
You sure may.
Is there no penalty if we remain at the current bank, or there is no penalty if we switch to any bank?
No penalty if we switch.
To any bank?
Correct.
Yeah, that's the way I interpret it.
With that being said, then I appreciate them saying there will be no penalty no matter what we do either way. I'm probably gonna stand on our decision with the information that we had when we made that and go from there as far as for my input.
Okay, anything else for general county business? I didn't anticipate I was gonna get a motion based upon what I heard from you and what you just said, so, previous decision stands. So now I have, if there's no further general county business to come, then keep in mind, those who are online and those who are here from the media, that we are going into a road and bridge work study session that will follow this. But before we do that, I want to offer public comments items listed on the agenda. Okay, seeing none, then I'm gonna go to routine business.
Yeah, here's this. You wanna resend that other, about that indigent form?
Yeah, so, this invoice here was for a transport.
Yes, that was it. But the other that we had there.
The other, Erik, was, through the community partnership or community foundation, the Ozarks, I'm not sure what it is. They have a service that they make available, to their county, their member counties, that would, pay for indigent cremations. And two of these, we don't have any information ourselves that there was any family or any resources to cover those cremations. So those typically then get billed to the county, and typically we'll try and do all our research to make sure that there's no family member out there that would be responsible for, or should be responsible for, that cremation. Now, in these two, they were held up for a while by me because I had information that there was a possibility of a life insurance policy that might take care of this, and I got that information from the public administrator. That turned out not to be the case, and I got that information probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I've downloaded the form that can be submitted to this organization, and it should be submitted from the coroner. So the decision I would like, that Joe and I agreed on, I anticipate you will as well. We will put those in his basket and ask him, direct him to get these forms filled out to see if they will reimburse for these cremations.
That's fine.
Okay. And Lindsey, did you have any question on that?
I just asked Mike.
Okay.
Reimburse or pay for? We haven't paid for it
We
yet.
have not, so.
Yeah, so see if they qualify to be.
It would actually reimburse if that came to us, then we'll pay the invoices.
Yeah.
If they reimburse the facility that performed the service, well, I think it would come back to us and we would need to reimburse. until Jerrod gets back. So Linda had presented, for commission discussion consideration, if we wanted to, increase the mileage reimbursement or meal reimbursement. That was presented to us, I think, last week, maybe. Time goes so quickly. If we want to discuss that until we make a decision, or if we want to discuss it later, or if we want to take action on it. The current mileage we reimburse at 49 cents. The IRS and state are both at 70 cents per mile. And as part of that discussion, there was also possibility of the per diem for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So I did talk with Mike, and I said, based on where you're seeing declines, where you're declining because it's maxed out, where do you see that at? Do you see it in breakfast or in lunch or in dinner? And she said, rarely breakfast, just like, I don't remember one. But lunch and dinner are the two. And I said, so, your estimation, instead of 11 for lunch, what are you seeing as a common, if somebody has to pay for their lunch out on trainings, what are you seeing? And she goes, I think 15 would get it. And for dinner, instead of 20, 25. So it's a $4 raise on lunch and a $5 raise for consideration, just as an opinion, with the receipt required, not the per diem. Per diem is just get a receipt. We're sorry you lost it in my case.
As we think through that, let's talk about the mileage. Any recommendation to increase that mileage from 49 cents to 70 cents?
Is this something that we're thinking about changing now, or?
It would be for the new budget year.
Okay. That's.
It wouldn't come into effect until 26.
So everybody can budget for it.
And one of the things, Erik, maybe to just tack on to that question would be, I would kind of like to know what the impact of this is based upon now, and I don't know how we can get that information, but if I could have a good ballpark, what we've reimbursed, and most of this comes out of the line item of the office holder or department head, and it's very rare that I've seen, if I've ever seen it, somebody go over their mileage and reimbursement. So making that statement, then the expectation might be we increase it, and then when we get to budget, obviously we're going to see probably requests to increase mileage and training. But I don't know how close we've been. I guess I need to go through the budget book. That's how I can do it. I'll go through the budget book, encourage you as well. So you can actually go in there and you can take any office holder or any department head and just see, this is what we budgeted. As a matter of fact, while we're discussing that, could I impose, you're always faster. Could I impose what? Just pick out somebody. Pick on the commission.
$2,000 approved, 2,100 spent. County clerk, 1,300 approved, and 965 spent. Treasurer, 1,400 approved, 1,000 spent. Collector, 3,500 approved, 2,200 spent. Recorder, 1,500 approved, 1,300 spent. Circuit, 2,000 approved, 1,900 spent. Public administrator, 4,000 approved, 1,700 spent, and I know some of that was in training, she didn't get to take some of it.
Looky there. Since you carried it all the way in here, yes. Thank you very much. I'm not gonna share with you
Yeah, I was gonna
guys.
say, are you kidding?
I could have brought two.
No, you're fine, thank you.
Corner, 1,500 approved, 1,100 spent.
So I guess hearing these numbers, if we consider this for, increasing both the mileage and the meal reimbursement, it would probably not have a real significant impact on the budget. We might have to increase those line items a little bit, but, it seems like what's been budgeted is not being, consumed. So, just food,
Special funds do come into play too,
yes.
in budget.
Now, I would do this just as a counter for, the recommendation, and maybe guys, I'm just, frugal, but, if we left breakfast at 7, and that was the recommendation, lunch, the recommendation was 15, guys, I could do that any day of the week for 12, but that's my choice, cause it's my money. And, dinner, 25, I guess would be nice, but, depending on where I choose to eat, I could, without being, sounding, too frugal, but, be rare, I would spend, except on a date night, spend $25 for,
That's easy done on a date night.
Right.
so if I could get a consensus so we could start to, move this forward, if we're going to, is the 70 cents, any objection to the 70 cents to reimburse mileage? They're taking their own car, obviously, and so they've got, all those, expenses that go along with it, fuel, tires, oil changes.
All that stuff just came up, so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And we don't have to make the decision today, so I'm not asking for, but in order that we just keep moving it forward, and we're using this time until, Jerrod gets back, so that this one's kinda already having most of the discussion done. And then, Linda, you might share with us, and I can't quote it, and I would struggle finding it in our policy manual, but we do have a policy in place that speaks to, departure time and arrival time regarding how we reimburse. So keep in mind that these meal reimbursements typically are, okay, we're headed to CCAM training. And if one of us drove, and if you wanted to, or if all of us drove, and you chose to submit a reimbursement for that, you would be expected to eat the meals that are provided at the conferences. And generally that's part of our registration fee is, whether it's a continental breakfast or whether it's a sit-down lunch and then the dinners that we have. So we're not expected to the county is not expected and has not, to the best of my knowledge, reimbursed for any meals that are part of the registration and conference fees. So keep that in mind. So then when you're traveling, or maybe some go down the night before, but the conference doesn't start the next day until, let's say, noon, are we reimbursing for breakfast? But if they leave the conference at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and they get back by 5, are we buying dinners? So I'm probably understating, overstating, but Linda, is that generally how that works?
Not many go up the night before, most drive that morning. But being said, if you are approved to go through your office holder, then the reimbursement is considered in that. You have to be gone before, I think it's 6 o'clock in the morning to get a breakfast consideration reimbursement. So otherwise you're expected to eat at home. And to your point, the idea is to never double pay for any one meal. If you've already paid for it in reimbursement, well then you wouldn't want to reimburse it again on top of it if you've already paid for it once. Now, on the other hand, if you go out, occasionally in trainings you might, instead of the orders that they're offering, you may go out or something. So you pick it up yourself. That's just, it's the idea that you would never charge the county twice for the same meal.
Yeah, because with you registering to go to that training and stuff, and they have that included in, like what Randy said there, then if it's already there, it's already been paid for, whether you choose to eat that meal or whatever. If you wanna go out on your own with a couple of other buddies or girlfriends or whatever, then that's on you guys.
Yeah. And I've done that before myself.
Right. So, and is there, do we have like a, I know whenever I'm doing some subcontract work and stuff like that, I had to get to a certain mileage, like 30 miles away from home before I ever got paid any mileage and stuff like that. Do we have anything like that set in play, or is there?
It is.
Meals, mileage, all that comes into play at that effect,
Mileage was.
I didn't get no per diem for motels or meals until after I was like an hour and 15, an hour and 20 minutes away.
To that degree, no, we don't have that. Mileage has been a consideration that you wouldn't get reimbursed unless you traveled over a mile. The only reason that came into play is bank deposits, where people were taking their personal vehicles for the bank deposits. For training, you'll never see that. It's always gonna be a greater distance. It's gonna be the lake, or it's gonna be Texas County, or it's gonna be something like that before we would see training reimbursement on mileage. The meal reimbursement is getting back to the hours. If you're contained and they cater it in because you're at a meeting and here's how much you're gonna charge, well then here's what you're paying if you're gonna eat. Otherwise you wait until 3 or 4 o'clock, whatever, or 2 o'clock, whatever it is, and yeah, you could get it on your own at that point.
We pay mileage for office holders to take their deposits to the local banks. Anybody, yeah. And it's recorded as 1 mile. It may be increased now, I don't know. I haven't driven to the other side of town, but.
Well, I know from the city limits at 64 to I-44 is 2 miles. That part I do know.
Whatever it is from here to Heritage is not being.
It's gonna be that mile deal plus, yeah. So, yeah.
So the recommendation, until we, I guess, circle back around to this, no change for, breakfast, still leave it at, with the receipt at $7, is that what we heard? That wasn't usually in.
No recommendation.
And lunch, the recommendation from, purchasing is, from 11 to 15, and dinner 20 to 25, so, let's, I guess, hold that, and we'll, as we go in the budget, the office holders start to formulate their budget, they'll need to know, so, unless there's any further discussion, then I will put that in the pending file, and we'll take it up as part of budget. Okay,
We did pay for the autopsy on that, Mike just come back with.
so we did, so we need to approve this.
Well, it would be in line.
Let's get that one paid. And, in other, just, general county business, I did, check with, Jeremy Manning, and Atlanta Bridge is open.
Open.
So we need to put that out there, Linda. Did you already? Okay, yeah, it's tentatively scheduled to be open Friday, but no official confirmation, but it was, made official this morning. All right, public comments, items not listed on the agenda. All right, seeing none, any other business? If not, we'll take a recess here until Jerrod gets back. Is there anything else? I'm gonna get up, stretch my legs.
Don't believe so.